Hey guys, how's it going? Today I will demonstrate on how to create trigger zones and spawn points depending on your mission scenario. Now for this mission scenario I will be creating is two F-16s will be flying over Kandahar airport. As soon as they reach the perimeters of the airport we will have two enemy aircraft intercept. So what we want to do first is we want to create a trigger zone on the left hand side. So if you click trigger zone here. Okay, after clicking trigger zone on the left side, now you want to place your trigger. So I'm going to just place it at the start of the runway here. So as we can see, we've placed our first trigger. Now you can change the size depending on the trigger here at the very top right. Just change it to 7,000, that's better. So in this zone, it just depends how big your trigger zone is. But with the perimeters here, as soon as enemy aircraft enter the perimeters here, we will make sure that the trigger activates an enemy unit intercepting. So once that trigger zone is here, we're just going to call it trigger zone. Trigger zone. And then we're going to just color it what you like. I'm just going to color it green there. There you go. Now what we want to do is let's add in our aircraft. So we're just going to let's do two F-16s. Choose what aircraft you like. And then let's try Arrow Squadron. Okay, so we're going to do two Pakistani F-16s flying over Kandahar airport here. So what we want to do first is let's set our waypoint. So we can just set it to here. Make sure the waypoint is crossing the trigger zone, otherwise it will not trigger. So there is your waypoint here. Let's just call this group F-16s. Okay. Now, once your trigger zone is created and you've got your first unit here to intercept the trigger zone, what you want to do is create the intercepting unit or whatever unit you like to spawn once the initial one enters the trigger zone. So for this, I'm just going to create just place two enemy aircraft here. Let's just go with JF-17 Thunders, why not? Two JF-17s. There you go. There's two JF-17s here. Now we're going to just make them red. There you go. So that's the enemy plane, and this is friendly planes here. Now, what we're going to do is let's set our trigger rules first. This is very important. Otherwise, your trigger will not work. So on the left-hand side here, let's see, where is it? You should see here, set rules for trigger, where my mouse is. Click on that. Now, what you want to do is you want to click on new. Once you click on new, under the conditions in the middle, click on new condition as well. Type. Now, what you can do is you can make sure all the group are in the zone, or you can click on part of group in zone. Part of group just means that obviously now we've got two F-16s. If at least one of these F-16s enters a zone, then the trigger will be activated there. So that's what I like to do. Part of group in zone. So group is F-16. Make sure you select the relevant group. This is why naming is important. Once you click on F-16, under actions, you want to click on new actions. Now, action is you always want to do group activate. What does that mean? We're basically activating the trigger zone for the interception. So obviously this is aerial 1 here. Now I should have actually named this to JF-17s. Let's just name that now. JF-17s. Now let's go back to set to rules for trigger. Group activate JF-17. So what does this mean? We've created a trigger. Now the condition is at least one aircraft in the zone, or you can do all aircraft, just depends on your mission scenario here. So at least one of these F-16s, once it enters the trigger zone, will be activated, and then that's where your action is group activate the JF-17. Let's add our waypoint for the JF-17. Click add. Make sure it's just crossing anywhere you'd like here. Let's say our F-16 is a little closer here. Now it's very important that the unit you would like to spawn after the trigger, make sure late activation is ticked. Otherwise this will not work. So we've got our trigger zone, we've got our F-16s crossing, and we've got our planes ready to intercept. Now all we want to do is just get ready with the mission. So let's take a look. Okay, so we've started. These are two F-16s here. Now as you can see, the F-16s will be crossing the Kandahar Airport. Now I'm going to press F10 to bring up the map here, so it will be a better view. Now, as we can see, these two F-16s. Once they reach the airport parameters, you should be able to see the intercepting aircraft spawn here. So we'll just wait. So our trigger zone was somewhere here, and we then should be able to see it. There you go. There's our JF-17s. Now, if we press F2, there's our JF-17s spawned here. And ready for a dogfight. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.